You are now listening to Shoot the Shit with your hosts, Shawnee Caulfield and Sal Licata. Enjoy the show. Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 25 of Seany Sal Shoot the Shit. As you can tell, we have a couple guests here. I am here with my co-host, Sal Licata.
Hi.
I have Bo J, who is one of my good friends, and he's the producer of Seany Sal. He's been editing the show since the beginning, and we wanted to bring him on so that he could input his, kind of like a Sterling is to the pod. And Bo gladly agreed, and he's going to be with us from now on. And
Bo, what is your area of expertise as far as wrestling goes? What years do you cover? Because clearly Shawnee and I have a problem with that.
I don't know what the problem is. Attitude era into, let's say, maybe 2005-06.
Okay, all right.
He also watched like Matt, right, Bo? You watched Matt and when he was Broski and all that stuff?
Yeah, and Brian. But I didn't the whole era, not to go on for too long, but the whole era before that, Hulk, Macho, all that, I never that's a whole separate story. I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling around there.
Oh God. All right. Well, we'll get into that at some point, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But I was just curious, you gotta help obviously clean Shawnee and I up a little bit with
the wrestling history, yes.
Yeah. There's been a few things on a couple of episodes where I'm like, how do they not know that? But that's all good. It's all good.
You and everybody else.
It's all
and
good.
then the last but not least, we have the hustle man, Mitch Hastel.
Am I here? Am I on?
Mitch Rolston, but we call him Mitch Hastel because that's how I know him by.
Hey, I've been
Mitch,
called a lot worse, let me tell you.
How you doing, buddy?
Today.
I have to say, we have to interview a lot of people, and me and Sal have been going through the people we want to get on the show, and you have happened to get on the show and twice before any of those people, and
twice.
It's insane. It's insane.
Well, I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys.
No,
well, we appreciate the time, Mitch. Shawnee, do you want to start it off, or do you want me to go here first?
You go first, Sal. You go first.
So the first thing is obviously, Mitch, this is blowing up in the Facebook group, and I'm not sure how big in the collector world in general, but for our purposes, it is a big deal what's going on with you and you releasing your Ahmed Johnson figure, and then Zombie Sailor comes out in the group, posts that he has signed Ahmed. So I just want to know, my first question is, how the fuck does that happen to where you sign somebody to release a toy and then a month later a different company can sign the same guy to a similar toy?
Wow, we're going right for the jugular, Sal. I like this. We're not holding back any punches.
No, we got to get to it. Everybody wants
it's a
to
fair
know.
question. It's the number one question that I want to ask.
Listen, I think it's 100% fair question. So I'm going to take you back to December. This is going to be a long-winded answer, but it's going to be informative.
As long as it's truthful, that's all we care about.
Right.
Listen, have I ever lied to you guys before?
No, you never have.
So it's not my bag, baby. Basically, we go back to December. I've been in contact with Ahmed for it's probably about 2.5 years now. Because originally, when I got his number from Savio Vega, who's also a good friend, he gave me his number to do a signing in New York. So it's got to be about 2 years that I've had his number. So I got in touch with him again. And I obviously was starting this thing with grapplers and gimmicks. And so I said, hey, he was one of my favorites when I was younger. And I said, it would be great to have you. And Savio put in the good word for me, of course. And I said, yeah, Savio says hi and also good stuff. And so I said, I would love to do a figure of you. And he said, okay. So I signed him up to do a figure. just exactly how it happened. And this is
How
like
long ago was that? Yeah, how
this
long
is
ago?
the end of and probably around December, end of December.
Okay.
Because January 1st was New Year's Day or late New Year's Eve or whatever you want to consider it. I announced that we signed Ahmed Johnson. It was a big, I tried to make it into a big deal. Like the ball dropped, Ahmed dropped, my balls dropped, everybody dropped, right? So January 1st, right? So production, had the sculpt done, had the artwork done first, and the sculpt, and then, I love my artwork.
I know.
Artwork,
You're like Picasso.
artwork. Okay. Did the artwork. And then I had released the prototype, right? Because we got the painted sample from China, right? So I show the thing, we're going to do the pre-order. And then I guess we did the pre-order. And then all of a sudden, we got the other artwork that came out. And then the answer I got was that, I guess they had signed something that was non-exclusive, because I was never contacted by anybody besides Ahmed. He was the only person I had contact with. So any other contact that was made, I can't speak of. All I know is nobody else ever contacted me or anything in that time. So if
it was like a handshake
this agreement
deal
was made beforehand, which I believe it was, from what I hear.
Got it.
And it was a non-exclusive agreement at the time.
His what?
Sorry?
He signed a previous agreement before you that was non-exclusive.
Apparently. That's right. What I heard. But it was I guess when it was in its infancy, a couple years back. So I never was contacted by anybody, who we're talking about. Nobody said, I mean, we had from January 1st till the end of February to say something about this, right? So nobody's ever said anything to me. But like I said, it came out after the fact. So, whatever, man, everybody's got their own way. I will say this.
But is your contract with Ahmed then legal, or is Zombie?
Listen, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney.
Right, but you might need one. That's my point.
No, but if the contract is not exclusive, then I don't need an attorney.
Correct, but that is what I'm saying.
Yes. Okay. And so, but I don't want to talk about legalities and things like that. But as far as I know, like I said, nobody's contacted me directly. So any other contact has been made behind my, not behind my back in a bad way, but not with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
As far as I know, from what I was told by Ahmed and all his, team or whatever he's got going on there, there's no issue. So you're gonna have two Ahmed Johnson figures.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
So the timeline,
I'm sure they're gonna be two different styles. I mean, we've all seen mine already. You've seen mine. Now you're gonna see his. It's fine. You know what I mean? I love the way mine looks personally. You already know. I mean,
I think it looks great. Yeah.
My campaign, from the beginning was that I wanted the Hasbro style, and I wanted mine to look as close as they can get to that, with updates, of course.
So Mitch, so basically the timeline was apparently, right, allegedly, Zombie already had Ahmed signed, right? And then
but again, I did not know about that.
Well,
when I signed him in December, nobody told me that.
No, I'm sure that's the case, but I'm saying when I listened to the podcast, the Major Pod, the boys Matt especially made it sound like he already knew that Zombie had Ahmed signed for a while now. So I'm not saying who's telling the truth or lying.
Well, I'm telling you straight up, you know what I mean? I can't,
you can't
go
say
back
for
and
sure.
record
Yeah, of course.
No, I can. I'm telling you that when I signed Tony Norris, right?
Yeah.
He never said anything about being signed with anybody else.
Mm.
Maybe I didn't ask because I didn't know. I didn't think even anybody contacted him.
I feel like it's something that's like, I feel like Zombie announced everyone else and their mother. Why wouldn't he announce Tony Norris?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because as long as it's non-exclusive, who gives a shit? Then you're fine.
I agree, Sal. I'm just saying. I just think, like, for me, right? Like, why would he wait Like
if it was me, I would have done it a little differently. And again, everybody's different. It doesn't make it right, wrong, indifferent, whatever the story is,
Sal,
right?
what I'm trying to say is so Mitch came out, he said he signed the Med Johnson, right?
Right.
Then a month goes by, Zombie comes out and
2
says,
months.
hey, and 2
It
months
was
goes
2
by.
months.
So 2 months goes
Almost.
by, Zombie, and then Zombie not only shows the Ahmed Johnson artwork, but then he posts on Facebook in the group about having to take another visit to the farm to see the twins.
The Godwins, yeah.
The Godwins, right?
All right, so that's it. So hey, let me just tell you though, I was under the impression that you signed Tony Norris, you released the figure, pre-order, all that stuff. Then Zombie swooped in
That's
and
exactly
signed his
what
deal.
happened. No, he didn't swoop in. He had him already, but he waited.
Well, but that's a big difference. He
Right.
could sign him a year
It is
ago.
a
I don't
big
give a fuck if he
difference.
signed him 2
It
years
is.
ago.
Yeah,
He
it
can release
is.
him whenever he wants. So
Right.
he just didn't release it. You were the second to the party, but you were the first to release it. So as long as I don't know the legal stuff, neither do you apparently at this point.
Well, no, from what Tony has told me, that it obviously
good.
wasn't an
Right.
exclusive deal, and
Otherwise you'd be screwed. So it's a good thing that that's the case. Now
Yes,
that takes
yeah.
us to the Godwins. What's the deal with them? Have you? I mean, did they have? Were you first to them?
there's
And did
no
you have?
exclusive. There's no
Okay.
exclusive there either. So
So
again,
you guys were releasing the same figures, competing each other.
Yeah.
but not intentionally. I didn't know about him
Oh
signing
no,
these
we
guys.
believe that. We believe that, Mitch.
All I'm saying is, I started. I'm just trying to keep everything rolling on my end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, it seems like we'll talk about it, I guess, next or at some point. But obviously, in some cases, maybe I pushed it a little too fast. And I'm admitting that. But I just don't want to fall into that trap of like falling behind. You know what I mean?
But I feel like
So-
you end up making the right decision, Mitch, because if you were late to the party, I believe that some of those customers might have bought his first, right?
Right.
So,
well,
but
the problem is though, I swear I did not know that he signed with anybody.
no, I believe
So,
that. I believe
if
it.
my approach would have been a little different, because I'm pretty, I'm old school Italian from New York, like the five boroughs. Like if I had somebody signed and somebody announced something, I would immediately have said, hey, especially if I have their phone number and contact info, I'd be like, hey, maybe there's something that we can work out, or maybe we could do something together, or there could have been something. I would have personally handled it different.
Yes,
I wouldn't have waited until you had your figure on pre-order.
But that's not your. He's allowed to do what he wants if he
and I'm not disputing that. I'm just giving my opinion. I would have done it differently.
That's fine. And my only issue from your
I think
end
for the
is that,
fans and for people that are buying these figures, especially if it's somebody that you know from a long time, you know what I mean?
well, that's a different story.
You would have maybe said, hey, let's talk about this. You know what I mean?
But my only issue from your end is that clearly. So, like, if it were me, and I don't know the legalities of it or whatever, I would go into it saying this needs to be exclusive for this type of figure before we sign the deal. If you did that, you would have found out that he was signed with somebody else. No,
correct. I mean, I do have any contract I put out says that we're not usually able to. You're not able to do something with somebody afterwards. So I guess the loophole is, even if I put that in there, he was already signed beforehand and his wasn't exclusive. So it kind of just nullifies everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but to answer your question about Mark Canterbury, we can call him Henry Godwin on here because that's what everybody knows him as. His Instagram and everything.
I don't even know what the fuck it is, honestly. So
we don't know who they are.
He's a good guy. He was from the new generation, and he was relevant then.
To me and Sal, they're real farmers.
But again, the same idea. He signed him, I guess, years ago or whatever, a couple of years ago, and then never did anything. And then it wasn't an exclusive deal. And the same thing, like obviously he's one of the BSK with Savio and Godfather and Phineas and all those other guys. They're, it's very well documented that they're all Undertaker. They have their own little gang or whatever the story is, right? Club, whatever. So they're all in the same. Yep. So that's how I was able to, get in touch with all these guys. You know what I mean? From being cool with those guys.
Mitch Undertaker retro. Oh my god!
Man, that would be
what
cool.
What are you
right?
gonna call him? The Gravedigger?
I might get in trouble with the monster trucks because there's the Gravedigger. But no, but like I said, the same idea. So I guess nothing had been done, and then all of a sudden, it was I put out the artwork, and then I put out that, which I think is a pretty amazing sculpt of him that we put out recently.
Yeah,
great
so people are saying the Savio doesn't look like him because he doesn't have a neck, really.
The Savio, listen, that picture was it got done in. I literally was like 3:00 in the morning yesterday. Well, today, but yesterday, going into today, I was on the thing with China. They finally painted the 3D model, right? Obviously, they could have done a slightly better job, I think, in painting the head. I thought the body looked really good, like the colors, and they made it look Hasbro-y. You know what I mean?
Somebody posted a picture of Savio, and it looked just like him. Like, yes, could the head have been a little better with the head, neck and stuff? Yes,
I agree. I think the paint didn't really like carry over well with the sculpt or whatever.
But it's not the finish. It's not the finish.
No, it's just a paint sample. Basically, that's the one that we send them, and so they paint it, and I pick all the color, like Pantone colors, and then they put that onto the figure, and that just shows like what colors they're going to use because they have different, it's almost like when you go to paint your house, you know what I mean? Like they have those little palettes or whatever they're called. They're like strips with all different colors. And
you when you see it and you
so
put it on the
it's the same
wall,
idea. It's like painting a little house, because you got to pick the colors. And he's very colorful. He's got colors all over those stripes. And
those 90s shirts, super colorful.
Yeah. Between the two of you, can somebody sign the fucking Beverly Brothers or somebody?
I asked somebody who was a mutual friend. Yeah. I asked somebody about that, a mutual friend, and I never got a response. I don't know if they're hard to get a hold of or whatever, but I did try.
I mean, it would be great. I'm kind of joking, just to get you guys separated.
Yeah.
Like
nobody. Listen, I didn't know about Henry Godwin either
to begin with. Like, I don't care about the Godwin figure to begin with. Right. Now, two of you guys are releasing them. Like,
it's an era-specific thing. You know what I mean? Right. It's one of those things.
So, my problem is, Mitch. Sorry to interrupt you, but
that's all right.
So I know you're on Facebook and you see all these socials, but today somebody posted a picture of the Savio Vega picture that you put up, and they put on it basically save us zombie sailor toys, and they put your picture under it, and everybody was saying it looks like Sinbad, and then Josh comments a picture of House Guest.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think it also, like I said, that was somebody. It was my representative in China taking the picture of at whatever time it is for them, but it was 3:00 in the morning for me. So when I saw it, again, I'm laying there. I'm like, my wife is snoring next to me, and I'm like, and I just wanted to do something fun, and I wanted to share it with people because I got excited. So. A little premature, as always, from the Hustle Man. Again, ask my wife. But I'm just digging my hole. It's fine. But maybe I should have waited a little longer.
No, but because I know you and Josh have known each other for years, right?
A long time, yeah.
I actually reached out to Josh to try to get him on the pod so we could talk all as a group, but he said he wasn't doing any podcast at this time, and that maybe down the line, he was very nice about it. He said maybe down the line.
We taped the interview months ago, and we'll release it now after this. A few months later.
So,
everything is after the fact, Sal. Everything. What is going on?
So I just wanted to get his side of things because, listen, I want to know.
I've made it abundantly clear that I have zero beef.
No, I know you don't.
With Josh,
I'm not.
And I've even on the first time I came on before all this shit happened.
Yes.
Sorry, excuse my French.
It's okay.
But before all this shit happened, okay, I initially said, "Hey, listen, let's all work together. I think that what I'm doing is a little different. Nobody at the time, nobody had the same guy that the other guy had. There was none of this nonsense.
You're trying to play nice with the shark,
and he's gonna.
But that's okay, man. Because nobody's gonna stomp on me. Okay, it's fine.
No, I don't mean stomp on you. He's gonna try.
Oh, I
you know?
like it, Mitch. I
Listen,
like it.
I am not here to have a war. I am not here to fight with people. I'm here to live out my boyhood dream and make fucking toys. Okay.
See,
So if you
I
wanna
agree.
fight,
I agree.
you know, you're gonna be fighting a losing battle because I'm not fighting back. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And
All
again,
right,
so far what I've
right,
seen,
and this,
so far
you
what I've
need to
seen,
focus. Sorry,
it's
Mitch.
being
Go ahead.
it's very it's being handled very childishly
Yes.
on that
You
end.
need to focus.
Okay.
You need to focus on you and not worry about what anybody
Right.
else is doing.
I'm not
Agreed.
going to say I'm not bothered by some of the stuff I read. I mean, again, yes, the Savio, we're going to fix it. It's not a big deal. Like it is a deal, but it's not a huge deal. We're going to fix it.
Yeah.
I promise you it'll look great. I have Savio exclusively. He's not signed with any other retro toy company.
Which
okay?
is great.
So we will make it. I promise you it'll come out great. I promise everybody listening it will come out great. And like I said, I'm just going to, like Sal said, I'm staying the course. It's okay. If you want to shit on me, you want to, it's really, I mean, it affects me to an extent, you know, but in the same sense, I have other things to worry about. Like I'm trying to keep this thing moving.
Yeah,
we already have,
forget the outside noise, forget the competition, focus on you, get a fucking figure out, put it in people's hands and make them want more. And then moving forward, sign guys exclusive. Once that, you're good.
Godfather is already, I just sent them the art.
I saw the video that you put up. Yep.
Yeah, I just sent the artwork for the packaging. So the molds are just about done. So they're going to be running them off.
I'm proud of you for putting the hairy balzania on there. I love it.
I had to. I mean, if I didn't do it, I'd be a dick, right?
I agree.
I'd be a dick Gazinia. The dick Gazinia's on there too. It's okay. But yeah, I'm already like the people that I got with me are already working on like this is just again, this is the packaging because Ahmed is also in production. As soon as we got that pre-sale going, I took some of my money and I put it with the pre-sale monies, and I immediately sent it to have the mold because I saw everybody received it really well. There was no backlash about it or anything like that. And so I
saw nothing but great things.
This is an exclusive for you guys. Look, I got, what is that? That's an old Hasbro, right?
Yep.
And then I got right behind it is Ahmed Johnson.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
All
that
right.
looks
So you can
fresh.
see it. It fits nice. That's the packaging. That's a little drawing of him there. I can show you the real. Do you want to see the real thing real quick? I have it right here.
Yeah. Let's.
And I'll be honest with you too, Shawnee. I saw the drawings from Zombie. While I think Zombie's figures are second to none,
the drawing was trash.
I like Mitch's version of this figure.
I agree.
Better.
I agree.
I appreciate that, Sal. And
well,
again, what I even told you in the beginning, I said it's not a competition. You know what I mean?
Right. He's not in my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about Tony Norris, Ahmed Johnson. I would not buy the figure because of that. But just based on unbiased, from a buyer or collector's perspective, I thought yours was the better drawing.
I appreciate that. And you mentioned about the Sinbad. I mean, it's all in good fun, right? The Sinbad. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you guys the Ahmed Johnson prototype. All right. And
that shit is funny, dude.
That is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
So here's Ahmed. You can see he looks just like, there's no Photoshop. I didn't Photoshop anything. And he looks great, man. He fits really well. I'll get another Hasbro.
That looks like a good looking figure.
Mitch, you just made my whole day.
You don't want to dirty the figures, you know what I mean? So people were saying about the height. I know you can't really see from here, but you can see that there.
What were you gonna say, Bo? What do you think about the packaging and the design? Because that's your field.
No. I was going to say that I think a lot of the talk and a lot of the things that get posted, whether it's in the group or on an actual Facebook page or whatever, it's all fueled mainly by trolls and people wanting likes. It's never ever constructive criticism. It's never ever, I can't take you seriously with those things. No, I'm serious.
Mitch, you know what, bro, I gotta tell you, I'll buy multiple figures from you just because of that.
Bro, you want to see this one? I know you weren't here with us last time. There's the other one. So you can see both of them together. These are actually the ones from China. These weren't made in Ohio. Okay, you could see.
They look good.
They really do look good. I can't lie.
Here's how I know.
Man, and I wore the gloves.
I don't even collect figures from that era. I don't collect these names, but to look at something like that and it makes me think twice, I might need to get that, then for me, I think it looks good. But again, back to what I was saying, I think most of the stuff that's being posted in we'll say mainly the group, it's all fueled by people just wanting a few dopamine hits. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, and it's just, it's like attention grabbers. And
this
you know what?
Was such a power move.
What it is.
Like, this was like the biggest power move I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
man, a lot of Kevin Costner movies are gonna be watched tonight.
I mean, but I appreciate the compliment. We work very hard here. I know it's, I'm the little guy, I'm the little fish in the tank or whatever you want to say. Yeah. But the little fish grows eventually, hopefully. You know what I mean? As long as
listen, I
flush down the toilet.
We're rooting for you, man. Like, and we're not rooting against Zombie. We want Zombie to do well. I don't have anything like as a person. I like Josh. I've spoken with him before in person, but when he has this like, I'm better than everybody, I'm richer than everybody, and he's coming at fans that criticize his figures like, oh, I have more money than you and this and that. Like that part of him is, and Cardona has that same side to him, right? But like I think Josh is even worse when it comes to that. And to me, that's the side. Like he should have never ever commented on that kid's post with that. Yes, is it funny to some people? Like to put a Sinbad picture of a movie, you may got a couple likes, but in the end of the day, like my dad always said, like once you burn a bridge, you never get that bridge back, right? And you never know. I'm not saying that he'll need you one day, but you never know who you're gonna need. You never know who you're going to need.
He and I go way back, even before the podcast days. He was cool with me. Like, even when I was collecting my Hasbros and stuff like that, I have, again, I will repeat, I have zero beef with him. I thought that would be funny only because of the Sinbad.
Oh, it was great. It was amazing.
No, it was
amazing.
But it's all good. It's all good fun. That doesn't mean that he's, I said anything, bad about him.
No, it's funny. It's a funny power move. I love it.
But I always loved Josh, man. He was always cool with me. It just seemed like as time went on, for some reason, I guess,
Now, how did you know him? Because I saw you writing that you knew him for a while. I never heard of him until the pod. I heard about through the pod selling toys. Like, how did you guys? When did you have a relationship?
He, like I said, he
they used to buy gloves together.
Yeah, he was I've had those for years. He used to sell a lot of. He was obviously known for like getting these warehouse finds and stuff like that. And he would find like Hasbros and things like that. And I actually bought my first yellow King of the Ring Hasbro from him, and a bunch of other stuff too over the years. He even made these pins at one time. And he was cool.
He was selling pins and stuff.
And that's what
bothers me the most, because he knows what it was like to come up, right?
Right.
And like trust me, I've been there. I've been at the bottom. I've been at the top. And when you're stepping on people to get to the top, it's to be honest, lonely place.
I'll say it on here. Like, I've only said this to him in private, and not recently, obviously, because we don't speak anymore, I guess. Not because of me, but just in general. Right. But I even told him at one time years ago, like when I first started doing like the toy thing again, and it was like him and another guy, this guy Andy, that I became friends with, that they kind of inspired me to start doing this. And when I first started doing this, I told him straight up, and I even thanked him and said, "Hey, dude, like, you were one of the people that inspired me to even start doing, the reselling of toys, and then eventually obviously turned into a location and everything like that." You know what I mean? So I've always been.
Now you mentioned Andy, Mitch, Andy Brown. I'm assuming you're talking about, right?
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, I have become very friendly with him over the years.
He's a great guy, man.
He's a guy I actually wanted to have on, but he didn't want to come on. He
has Fandemonium, big plug, Fandemonium on Facebook.
He bought I forget the name of his Instagram thing. He bought the Luger.
Yeah, the prototype.
Mm-hmm. The prototype.
He sniped it from Cardona.
Yes, he sniped it from Cardona, and then he ended up selling it for more money. Matt, we offered to buy it back, but not at the price.
Yeah.
He ended up selling it for more money. So he's an interesting dude. But
But
I
Andy
know
is a
him
great
all
guy.
the way
He'll
back
tell you, man. You ask him. He'll tell you. I've known him for years. You know, he actually did inspire. He was one of the other people who inspired me to kind of even start this. And I guess it worked a little bit, you know.
Interesting.
But yeah, those are. I mean, he and I are still in touch. We lost touch for a little while, silly reasons, but nothing, you know, no dishonest
Yeah,
stuff or
just
anything like
life.
that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
But I've been talking to him. He's actually probably going to be coming to my convention that I'm holding here in Hartville, Ohio. So
Oh, really?
we still got to iron out the details. Yeah.
He's in Michigan or something like that. He's a
He's
good
he's
dude.
about 5 hours away from me. Yeah.
Okay.
He's in like right near he's in Michigan, but I can't think of the name of where he
All
is.
right.
But,
Okay. Anyway,
yeah.
anything, Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, I just Mitch, I want we're all rooting for you, you know. Like
I appreciate that.
I've done everything that I mean, us as a podcast, we do anything we can to help you, obviously, and thank you for coming on.
No, I love you
know,
guys, man. You know, I really do. And I like I said, like we said the first time, not to beat a dead horse, but I have you know, individual relationships with both of you guys before I even, you know, before you even had this podcast. So it's
Yeah.
cool that, you know, at least we both had a little bit of heritage before I even, you know, started coming
for
on
sure.
here. You know?
We were
And
just talking
hopefully
about
I'll be
this.
back again, you know.
For sure,
So,
yeah, anytime.
but I appreciate it. I really do. And like I said, man, I'm not, and this is not a front. It's whatever, man. You know, like
no, I
we can all coexist. There's really no need.
Yeah.
This could have all been prevented. You
Yeah,
know,
just make
that was my
different
point.
figures. That's the
Right.
key. Don't make the
But
same figures. Make different.
But again, I reiterate, I did not know.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, had I known maybe from the beginning, it would have rolled out a little different. But we're putting out a great figure. I promise you. I mean, you've seen it. It looks great. It looks like an old Hasbro. It feels like an old Hasbro. I'm hoping, you know, when I get it in my hand, I literally drop to my knees like Shawn Michaels and I hold it and I start crying on it. You know, I'll auction off the Mitch tear version that's got my tears soaked into the cardboard. But you know, we'll see.
Well,
but thank
Mitch,
you, Shawnee. I appreciate those words, but I love
no,
you very much.
absolutely, man. I love
in
you
Orlando. Truth be told, you know, Shawnee and I hung out a little bit before. You know, I swore him to secrecy. He's honorable motherfucker, man. You ever want somebody to hold a secret for you? Shawnee's the man. You know what I mean?
Thanks, bro.
But he and I had dinner the night before the thing in Orlando, and I swore him to secrecy, and you know, he kept his word and didn't spill the beans. So
yeah, always, man. It was a pleasure to hang out with you, and thanks for coming on. And yeah, we'll do it again for sure. I want to get to your store, so hopefully one day I can make it to Ohio. And
you got to make it on the day when we're doing a convention.
I know. I
know. April 22nd is the first one. It's probably too soon, but we have June 24th. I haven't announced yet. So but Savio's going to be there actually.
See, that one's more doable for me than but
Savio and Duke the Dumpster are going to be there.
I saw, and that Duke the Dumpster. Thanks for reminding me. I never heard of Duke the Dumpster before, but my friend Hussein,
he's a great guy.
Loves Duke the Dumpster. And there's he has a whole cult following.
Our childhood, man. Yeah, Mike Drosy. That's his real name. That's what we're gonna call it.
That's his name.
But,
yes.
Yeah. You know,
bro, he has like a cult following. Like, I think that figure is gonna sell off the shelves.
Yeah, and he hasn't. This is his first ever figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's huge. Like, and
see, those are the type of things that are cool. I know you didn't know, but I'm just saying, like, those things moving forward, getting guys for their first ever figure. I love that.
It sucks.
You give an opportunity to somebody.
I mean, it's cool, but that situation, the scenario.
These guys been wrestling their whole lives. They put their body on the line for, you know, some days they have a big crowd, some days they have 5 people watching them, and they put their heart and soul into it. And to be able to look at themselves, even me, like, I get my custom figure sent to me and I'm like in awe about it. And I never wrestled a day in my life. So imagine like earning that and then finally getting it after so many years. Like you're giving this guy and even if he's a collector or not, it's still a big deal.
And it's cool for them too, because like we obviously still do autograph signings, even at this location.
So they make money. Yeah.
So it's cool that we can actually have like some of these guys like him hasn't even had a figure. So all there was 8x10s and cards and things like that. So now he's got an actual figure to sign. And he can, when he does his autograph signings, people can bring these to them. So it's cool for me too that I can say, hey, listen, you know, once the figure comes out, like obviously we're gonna have Smoke Train, Godfather, we're gonna have him come and do another signing once the figures arrive. And there will be a 1 in 100 exclusive of him. I've already ordered it. I just haven't sold it yet, but there will be one of those coming. I could show you something cool if you want to just see one more thing.
Mitch, I got an idea, and Bo designs cards, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about maybe having Bo design you a card of maybe some of the people that you signed, and maybe like selling it or doing something like that?
I was about to. Sorry, Mitch. I was about to literally butt in and say the exact same thing, that we need to talk.
I would love it. Yeah, you have my Instagram, you have my Facebook. I'm pretty accessible. I'm always on there. You know, my wife doesn't really appreciate it sometimes, but especially recently.
Me and Sal were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to flip this thing. How do I flip this thing? Let me see if I can flip this. I wanted to show you that because you guys are always so nice to me. I wanted to do something special. You know, like
Thanks.
I figured, show you the prototype or whatever. But whatever.
Oh, it's like a stick. Oh, it's like a KB toy sticker.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's gonna be, and it'll actually be a real sticker. So it'll actually be a sticker that goes right on.
That is really, really cool.
See, I like that, man. I cringe when I see figures now that people rip the stickers off. I love having that. That's a great
I love this
idea.
sticker. That's a great idea, Mitch.
It's so iconic now. You know, like you said, you see them like the 3 for 10. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not going to be
now it's become kind of cool to have them on, but years ago, maybe even a couple years ago, some people try to get them off, but just leave it alone. It looks much better than ripped off.
Yeah,
it looks much better.
There was a big chat in the group about that.
It was between that and I turned myself again. Sorry. I turned heel for a minute. I'm sorry. The
minute you put those gloves on,
it was between. So it was between that and another sticker, which we all know and love. So I went with that one because I felt like the Hasbros towards the end, we all know that they were in KB and they were 3 for 10, and everybody remembers that. And I think those KB stickers are more on a lot more of the figures because they got that last liquidation.
Well, dude, seriously, it's a brilliant idea, and it's original, which I like it even more.
Is it going to be a different figure, Mitch? Like, is it?
Yeah, it's totally different. I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be, as far as I know, because they haven't started running them off yet. But what I instructed them to do was, it's going to be a white vest, yellow pants, and a purple hat.
Oh,
so that's like dope. One of the more iconic outfits that he wore. Yep. This one, I still love this, and the reason I did this was because the original Godfather figure, the first one they made, had these colors. So plus, like I said, I don't know where it is now.
Those are like unofficial pimp colors. You know what I mean?
But my I don't know if I showed it last time, but my original Hasbro custom that I made when I was 15 years old, that's what this was based on. So this is my original custom from when I was 15 in the 90s, and then this is the one that we made. So this one was originally based on the what do you call the
You
Jax
made
figure.
That one yourself?
Yeah, this is the one I made when I was a kid.
Pretty
cool.
But like I said, we talked about this last time, but the tattoo thing, I wanted I wanted it to match the original Hasbro. Yeah. So that's what we kind of went.
Did you use the same 3D printer as a kid to the one?
I don't get all that hate. Like, who cares?
Dude, first of all,
fuck if it's 3D printed or not. Like,
just to be clear, here comes a small rant. All right, I know we got to go, but this is a small rant. When these things come, they are 3D. This is from China. They call this a paint sample. So this is actually hollowed out resin. I don't know. There it is.
Right.
This is hollowed out resin. You saw the arm fall off that one time because they don't come glued. They
come in parts. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they send it to you to approve the colors and then to also approve the scale, which nowadays you can approve the scale yourself, because if you have a friend or you have your own 3D printer, you can print it to the same size. It obviously won't be in the same quality as something that comes from China because that's their deal.
But the scale will be on point.
Correct. So this one is actually the one from China. They painted this. They made the cane come out, and it's got to be cane. And So I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, so that's how that goes.
Yeah, I
This
said
one,
who gives a
obviously,
fuck if
this was
it's 3D
parts.
printed or not?
Right.
Like,
So
who
even China
cares?
3D prints their scale or paint samples.
Yeah,
The next one to come will be the actual sample, which will be the plastic sample.
got it.
So, and like I said to you guys originally, I think I may have said it on the first podcast, but the chest will be of ABS plastic, which means it'll be the same plastic as these, and then the arms. Then the rest of them they're going to do PVC, which is exactly how these would. You could see that they're when you squeeze them, the legs are softer than up here. So
Got it.
we even tried to mimic the exact same material that it's
Yeah, and
actually made
it
of.
has the so I actually listened to when Josh was on Sam Roberts, and
Right.
he explained that the what is it, BVC or something like that, you
It's
said?
PVC, yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
other one. The other
Oh,
one.
ABS.
ABS. It has the shininess to it.
Right.
So
They can also they also put some of that on. Like so
got
from
it.
what I told them, I'm hoping that it, again, the language barrier here, but I did tell them to shine it. So it should have the shine.
That's
So
awesome, man. Well, Mitch,
I
thank
hope
you so much. We love you and we
love
wish
you
you
too,
nothing but
guys.
the best.
I
And
really do. I mean it.
no, for
Mhm.
sure. And we're rooting for you. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
Any
Mitch.
You're welcome.
have
Thank
a
you
great
guys.
have a
Bo,
great
nice to meet you, brother. Great name.
You too,
You
man.
definitely
Good
have
to
a
meet you
wrestling name.
finally.
Bo J. That's a wrestling name for sure. It's either that or a porn name. One or the other. Either one, it's great. So, but hit me up,
All
brother.
right.
All
Forget
right,
the cards.
bro.
I'm moving on.
Yes, yeah. Later, Mitch.
Thanks, guys.
Later,
All
bro.
right, Mitch.
Okay. Guys, what that was wow, that was something else. Sal, what do you think?
I didn't realize that he was after the fact. I don't have any problem with Zombie not releasing info. Like he's allowed to do on his own timeline. I have a
Yeah.
problem. I have a problem with the business model of not getting guys to sign exclusively if possible, whether that's a knock on Zombie or even Mitch. Because look,
Yeah.
Zombie could get burned here. Zombie signs Ahmed Johnson first. Mitch comes out with the figure first. If the figure's better, maybe people don't buy Zombies. Just because Zombies always has great figures doesn't mean his Ahmed Johnson can be better than Mitch.
100% true. And the thing here is that like I said before, like I just don't like how Zombie like gets in on the fun with like and like he didn't need to post that picture of Sinbad movie, right? Like under that post. Like he could have just like seen that he was tagged in a post saying help us, and he could have not said anything, right? But instead he chooses war. Like he chooses war. So for Mitch to put on those pink gloves, I
Oh,
was so excited when I saw that. Like that's what makes you love Mitch. And to be honest, Josh doesn't have that quality to him, and that to me is a big factor when I'm going to buy a toy. Like I of course the toy has to be great. And we know Zombies toys are awesome, right? But if I'm getting a good toy from Mitch, and I'm gonna compare the two companies, I'm gonna go with Mitch's every time, just to be honest, because I know I'm gonna get that love from Mitch as a customer,
right. I try not to get caught up in that because I don't know who's running Mattel. I don't know who's running the other company. Like I'm just trying to look at it from the actual figure standpoint. But I don't think there's any question that Mitch is the guy that you prefer to buy from.
Yeah.
If all things were equal, you prefer to give the business to Mitch. I
Yeah.
don't know Zombie personally. I've never had.
I had one conversation with
Yeah.
him for like 30 minutes at Live 11. And listen, I hope to get Josh on here one day so we can talk
Yeah.
to him.
Well, no, here's the difference, right? Now, maybe Mitch isn't in as demand, but Mitch will come on. He wants to come on and explain himself and talk for an hour, and he doesn't care how many people watch or listen.
Yep.
Zombie, I didn't know. So he went on with Sam Roberts?
Yeah, he went on like a while back.
Well, whatever. But still, the fact that he was willing to do a podcast with Sam Roberts is because Sam Roberts has a big podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's not going to come on with us because, like, nobody's watching, nobody's listening. So maybe he doesn't care. That's the difference between the two guys.
Yeah. To be fair, he did say hopefully one day, but I don't know if that's true or not. You know.
No, it's not. It's bullshit. That's what
Yeah.
people say. Try to be nice, and
Yeah, I hope it's not true, and I hope he gives us a shot, because I think that there would be. I honestly, truly feel like we would give the best interview with him, and we've shown it with even with Mitch, like we've shown that we give these great interviews, and you ask awesome questions, and we go for the hard-hitting stuff. That's what we're not afraid to ask these questions, because this is what everybody's thinking, and we don't step around it.
Right.
So I think maybe he just, I don't know. I'm not gonna allege anything, but I just hope in the future that he comes on so that we could also have this talk with him and let us, we could tell him how we feel and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it was fun. It's always fun to have him because he is a character. Those pink glove thing, dude.
I took a picture of it. The group is gonna go nuts.
You better post that tonight.
I'm gonna post it tonight when we get off.
Yeah.
Bo, what did you think about the design of the actual the card backing?
I mean, if he's looking just to replicate the one that was in front, the Godfather one, then it's pretty much nailed it. I mean, it looks the same. It is what it is. There's just a few things that are changed. That's what's expected. On the subject of getting Zombie on here, I mean, I think it needs to be noted that wouldn't having him on here make a lot more sense than having him on something like Sam Roberts? I mean, like the demographic that you guys appeal to, and the people that listen to this are so heavily involved in the collecting community, that it ties in with the fact that you're gonna ask the correct questions, or the questions that people want answered, as opposed to thereabouts questions that are being asked by just some not a random podcaster, but someone that's not as heavily involved in collecting.
Yeah.
Right, because Sam Roberts' collection is shit, and I feel confident saying that mine blows his away. I don't give a shit how many listeners he has on his podcast.
100%.
No. I feel it's more of a case that, like,
fuck you, Sam Roberts.
Yeah, with his fucking Ludwig Borgavik.
Yeah, he's even cheaper than Sal. This guy hasn't donated to the fucking toy drive in 5 years.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
we know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? You're in there daily speaking to Mitch, daily speaking to Josh, and posts are constantly being made in especially that group, if not other groups as well. How many times is he getting involved in conversations like this on the daily? Do you know what I mean?
We get about like 300 and some listeners a week, right? So 300 and some listeners that are real collectors.
I don't know. That's how I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think having a podcast of that reaches out to 300 collectors a week is better than having just a random audience who's not going to buy a figure. Yeah. So I completely agree. And
not only that,
what is that noise in the back? Bo, is that you or Shawnee? Who's watching something in the background?
It's my wife. She has it blasted.
Oh, okay. What the hell is she watching?
she's upset because I have to record in the room.
Oh, okay.
So she does it out of spite. So she Can you hear it or no?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It barely.
Yeah, I thought it was feedback before, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even turn it down. She doesn't give a fuck.
She's in the same room as you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is the corner of my bedroom.
It makes sense now because I'm hearing it. I'm like, who the fuck is watching something? What is going on over there?
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah, of course, Bo.
Just to expand on what I said before about where most of these comments are coming from. It just seems that a lot of the time, like I said, it boils down to trolls just needing likes on posts, or they want to be funny, or they need some attention for the day. And a lot of this is just childish behavior. It's got, you might want to get your point across and voice an opinion on a product, and everybody is entitled to do that, because when you go into business, you are immediately, especially sales like that, you are immediately open to criticism on what you're trying to sell.
Yep.
And that's no problem. Everybody understands that going into business. If you don't, then you're ignorant. But I think there's a certain way to go about it. And, there's a way to do it as an adult, and there's a way to do it as a 10-year-old child at school. And the 10-year-old child way is I'm going to try and be funny and impress my friends with what I say. Or you do it the adult way and you say, let's have a constructive conversation about this, about what we think about it. Potentially this could get fixed.
Yeah.
And I think I know which way most people lean towards in the group, at least, So
yeah, for sure. It disappoints me sometimes because I'm like,
yeah,
even people that I like I saw them comment a little bit, and I'm like, like I love when people have their own opinions. I love it. But sometimes the opinions don't feel like it's their own, right? Like, so
I feel like it's recycled. Yeah.
I feel like when you have the boys saying, "Oh, Mitch the bitch," and yeah, this figure is not that good or whatever, like they lean towards what the boys think, right? So
yeah,
it's like it hurts Mitch in a way, and I know that they always end it with, "Hey, I'm still supporting Mitch" or whatever. But I don't think they realize how much their word means to Bond in the group.
I agree.
But we also have Dylan coming on the podcast today.
Oh,
That thing is huge.
Yo,
yeah, that's bigger than I thought for sure.
so they somebody made a comment. I posted this, and somebody made a comment that this is out of scale because because Dylan is taller than Matt.
Dude, I had no idea that either of them were that big. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I thought that was smaller by a long shot.
Shout out to Danny, Danny Ray. He actually sold me this one. I've been looking. I had the Zack Ryder for almost a year and a half now, but this one I've been looking for. You know how rare these things are, guys? Like, they are so rare because they break so easily. Like, even my Zack Ryder, I had to get it replaced. I had to get it because it broke when the lady mailed it to me.
What is that rider worth?
This is like somebody has it for sale for $1,000 on eBay, and it's broken like mine is, right?
Wow. But it hasn't sold, of course.
It hasn't sold. I
No.
would say somebody would pay like $700 for this at least.
Sell it.
And and this one I got pretty cheaply from Danny because he just sold it what he paid for it. So I was lucky enough. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I ever told you how I got the Matt one. It was like Figure Fate. When I first joined the group, it was in like, I joined the group in September. In December, I would go randomly onto Facebook Marketplace and I would type in Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona or Brian Myers. And at that point, I was buying everything, like everything, right? And I type in Zack Ryder, and I looked the day before, it wasn't there. And I heard this talk about like, hey, only 7 people have the gnome. There's a gnome club. And I just type in Zack Ryder, and the first thing that pops up was this gnome for $100. And it was a girl in like Idaho or something, in a random state. She had just put it up for sale. I was shaking when I clicked it because I'm like, no way this is real. Because like I had seen how rare it was.
Right.
And I'm like, all of a sudden I joined the group, and there's been people that have been looking for this there for 4 or 5 years, and I find it in 2 months. Like, it had to be Figure Fate. So,
And $100 is steal.
A steal. But then when it came,
It was in pieces.
the stupid lady, she put it in paper. I'm like, why would you put ceramic in paper? If you feel this, you feel how light it is. Like, some people have no common sense at all. But I was able to fix it. Thank God all the pieces went inside it, so I was able to save it. But yeah, that's it. I felt like that was our best interview yet. I really do. I really feel that way. And
I think you got the most information out of him this time around.
Yes, I feel like it was more bullshitting around last time, and I feel like we got way more this time. Sal, is there anything you need to bring up before we end the show?
No, I mean, we got a lot of stuff obviously left over. This was basically the interview with Mitch pod and the introduction of Bo here. But we have a lot of stuff from collecting different purchases this week. I know you were selling something. I guess we'll go over all that stuff next week. And I saw a bunch of great questions from the Facebook group.
I was just saying,
There was some good ones.
do we have 10 minutes to do the questions or no, Sal?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, 10
Okay.
minutes. I can 10 more minutes.
All right. Is Sal
Ask us anything, guys.
Yeah. Is Sal finally going to admit he's a mark by Robert Morris? He'll never admit it.
Never.
But he's the biggest fucking mark there is.
Mark for what? Hulk Hogan? Absolutely. Yes. From 85 to 92. Yes. For certain figures, yes. Current day Mark? No fucking way.
No, not current day Mark, but who is your Sal? Who is from Sunil 187? He always gets mad when people forget the 187. Who is your Mount Rushmore of radio personalities?
Currently or just all time?
All time.
Here's what I'll say. I love Mike and the Mad Dog. That's how are we putting Howard Stern on there because are we doing sports?
Yeah.
Are we doing
all time?
I'm gonna go Howard Stern, Mike and the Mad Dog, and that would be to me the end. Like those are the two guys that I've listened to, and I didn't even listen to Howard that much, but I did listen to him enough. And Mike and the Dog were my favorite. So those three guys.
Howard Stern, I agree with you. New liberal Howard Stern, I don't like too much.
Is Howard Stern the guy that you? Sorry.
Go ahead, Bo.
Is Howard Stern the guy that used to get like porn stars and stuff on his show?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's the greatest radio talk show host
ever. He broke the mold for
like. Funny.
Yeah, he broke the mold for everything. Even the federal government was trying to take him down at one point. What is Jeff Montalvo? You get one last meal. What are you choosing, Bo?
One last meal?
Yeah.
Nando's.
Nando's? What is that?
Anything
what kind
from
of food?
Nando's. So Nando's is chicken. It's called peri peri chicken. That's what they're known for.
Got it.
And it's the sauces that they use on their chicken and the marinade and all that sort of stuff. But it's all chicken based, pretty much.
Got it. For me, it's chicken parmesan. What about you, Sal?
Probably pizza.
Pizza? Yeah, I could eat pizza every day. Anthony Lucking. How many women do you think Raleigh has had sex with?
More
than he has dolls.
Yeah, I would say Raleigh has had sex with maybe I would put 50. I would give 50 a good number in his lifetime.
50? No way.
No, we gotta go more than that.
No, his saying is go ugly early. So what do you think? He goes ugly early, so he gets out of there.
I'd say like 15.
Oh man. What is let's see. A lot of us are lucky to have partners who enjoy, support, or have no issues with our crazy collecting habits and collections. Whether it was just something absolutely ridiculous or insanely priced, has there ever been a purchase that got you a big what the fuck from your wife? From John Pena, good brother.
Shawnee, you got one?
I'm lucky where we don't really we share our money, and she never ever double questions if I buy something. So I'm lucky in that way. But when I first started collecting toys, she's like, "What the fuck are you collecting toys for?" Because I went from not collecting at all to having a whole collection.
Same thing. To me, it wasn't one item because I'm not dumb enough to tell my wife how much I spend on the big items.
Exactly.
Come on, use some fucking common sense here. If she doesn't know the difference if it's $25 or $1,000.
True, no idea.
Why would you ever disclose that information?
Yeah.
But the amount of packages day after day after day piled up, that's where it became. She's like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
How do you rate the Pedro Martinez on the Metsich experience?
Well, this is my expertise, so
yeah. I thought Pedro was fine on the Mets. I thought he did pretty good.
The results of the move were not necessarily what they would want, but it meant more to be able to bring him in to have him there. I talked with Omar
100%.
a lot, who was the general manager who brought Pedro in. So it was important for the Mets at that point to bring in a star of his caliber, and he had a good first year.
Yeah. This is good from that was from Jeffrey Truniak. This is from Adam Christ. Marry, fuck, kill. Grapplers and gimmicks.
Oh, no.
Zombie Sailor and Major Bendies. I'll go first. I will marry Major Bendies, fuck Mitch, and kill Zombie Zombie Sailor. What about you guys?
Go on, Sal.
That's a tough one.
It's a great question.
I would probably marry Major Bendies.
You don't want to get heat. Say what you feel, Sal.
I'd probably marry Major Bendies, fuck Zombie, and kill Mitch.
What about you, Bo?
I don't give a shit about heat. I'm marrying Zombie, fucking Mitch, killing Bendies.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, hang on. There's it's not an extensive story, but I'm not a Bendies person, because so Bendies or Bendums back in the day and whatever it was, right? Those to you guys, a lot of people had sentimental value to those. In Australia, at least, amongst figure collectors that I was, friends with, those sorts of figures were looked at as like $2 figures from the $2 store. They look like cheap, things you just buy for your kids to throw around. So I never really got into those because they were just kind of like filler toys that you buy. You know what I mean? They always looked really, really cheap in the face.
To be fair, it's like that in America too, Bo. But I think when the boys started talking about them, I started reminding myself I do remember having Bendies, because they were cheaper, So I did have a couple of Bendies and played with them. So they're more on the sentimental side.
They are cool. Don't get me wrong. They are cool. I mean, the guys do a good job with
No, bro, you can pick whoever the fuck you want. You don't have to explain yourself.
Just not my thing.
What's the most toyetic? Ken Bruno, what's the most toyetic baseball uniform of all time? I say the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I like that one. Good call. The original 98. Yeah, that's a good one.
The original 98.
The old school Houston Astros had a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
I also I know it's plain, but the Athletics, I always like the Athletics uniform.
Yeah, the green and yellow and white. Yeah.
I always like that. And that fitted cap is one of my favorites. And
I think you nailed probably the best one. I mean, they're great. The Brewers have a cool one, or the old school logo, but I think you nailed the Diamondbacks, the original 98 Diamondbacks.
Yep. All right, we'll do a couple more because we only got 2 more minutes. Do you prefer the perfect clean, Bradley Edgen? Do you prefer the perfect clean, 100% organized toy stores, or stores with bins of Lucy figs to dig through and hunt around for something you like?
No, I want clean. I want 100% clean. Let me know where it's at, bagged up, easy to. I very rarely dig through bins, and if I do, it's like 2 or 3 figs. I'm not sitting there digging through bins of Lucy's. That's just me.
Yeah, I do. I'm a mix of both. I like it with half and half because. When you go to Super Gabby's, you have to dig through everything, and that is just annoying to me. But I don't mind digging through Lucy's, but when there's boxes in totes, I don't want to have to dig through those boxes to see what I want.
Right.
What about you, Bo?
I'm not big on digging through bins and stuff like that either, but I also don't buy a lot of loose stuff. But at the same time, I do like the look of a traditional store over modern sort of stores that have everything lined up to a T. But that's just because when you're stuck in the 90s in your head, you're just stuck in the 90s, I guess. Everything was just kind of all over the place,
For sure. And last one, Keith Blacknick. For next Halloween, I think Shawnee needs to dress like either Bam Bam Bigelow or Oliver Humperdinck. Who do you guys think?
Bam Bam.
I like Oliver Humperdinck. Have you ever seen him, Shawnee?
Yeah, no, I never seen them. Let me look him
Hang
up.
on. You could get away with doing Vader as well.
Right.
Vader?
Easily.
Oliver Humperdinck, you could do that.
Oh, I'm looking now. Oh, I see. With the red beard? Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it. I see it.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure. Oh man, that's
And
great.
then have that Mark Jamie Silverberg come out as Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh yeah, he'll be crying. Well, listen, that's it. That was it. I feel like that was such a great interview, and this episode is a little out of a whack, but I feel like everybody's gonna go nuts over the Mitch interview. So that's it. Anybody else have anything to say?
No, all
All
good.
right.
We're out.